First, Michael, we're going to look at the little chip and pitch shots that you were using. This first swing is when you were doing more of a pitch shot where your club went a little further back and you rehinged the club on the follow through. You're hitting this shot a little bit higher to the target. On both of those shots, you had a nice setup. You have a shaft lane. Your left arm is straight through. You did hit behind the ball on both of those a little bit. So you're set up with your low point in front of the golf ball, but during your swing, you have a tendency to kind of fall back to the back foot a little bit, and that moves this low point behind the golf ball, which can cause your club to bottom out before it gets to the ball. As your club approaches, it's actually hitting the ground about now. Right there, you can kind of see how the grass is hit behind the golf ball. Now, this particular grass that we're hitting from is pretty soft and fluffy, and you can hit behind it and still get the club under the ball without any problem. But if you get in a fairway that's mowed pretty tight, those kinds of shots can be real troublesome. We still need to work on this left arm. You can see how your elbow's flying up here and not keeping tucked into your side there. One thing that'll help us if we work on moving this hip and knee and coming off this foot and moving it more towards the target, have a little bit more movement to the left during the downswing, will help you keep this left arm tucked, but it'll also help you move that low point in front of the ball. This next chip shot is the second technique that we worked on, where you used a lower lofted club. I think this was a 9-iron. And you're hitting to the same target, but you're going to be able to hit the ball to that target with a much smaller swing, which makes it easier to be consistent. And I really like the way this was executed. Much shorter backswing. And then you hold that position, very low finish. The ball comes off lower, hits on the green, and rolls up to the target like a putt. You don't have to have that wrist hinge. You don't have to have that chop down type of swing to get under the ball. You can kind of just have a sweeping swing, almost like just a big putting stroke. You executed this really well. I really like the way you hit that shot. You're going to want to choose this technique on the golf course frequently. Now, you do need kind of a good lie. And obviously you're going to use the other technique as well. When you need to hit the ball high, use the other one. But if you have a lot of green in front of the pin, and you can hit this little bump and run shot, I recommend that you choose this technique when you have that. I want to look at this shot one more time. Just wanted to comment how well I like the fact that you keep your head down. You don't lift up early. You've made good contact here. The ball's coming up in the air, and you're focusing downward. That's excellent. As you come through, eyes are still down. Your club comes to a stop. You're posed with your club forward, and you're still looking down. You don't turn to look and see the ball go to the hole until after your club has finished, and that's a very good fundamental to continue. So the only thing that I really want to work on in this type of shot, the chip and pitch shot, is moving your belt buckle on top of this left foot during the downswing, and that you move your hip and your knee forward. You come off this back foot so that not only are you going to swing your arms to the target, you're going to swing your hip to the target. So you're going to move your weight on top of this foot. And we'll work on that a little bit next time. This is a video of your practice swing after we had worked on hinging your wrist upward instead of back. And this is the swing where you started commenting how much easier it was to have power, and it was a little bit more effortless. And there's some really good things I want to point out that you do when you apply this new wrist hinge. First, let me comment on your setup. You have a little bit more weight on your left side. You have a nice straight line from the shoulder down to the ball where the shaft is leaning forward. So that's very good. Got a good shoulder coil here. You still have your weight on your left side. And look at this strong wrist hinge there. Nice right angle there. That's the type of power angle that you want to have. That's what's going to give you that effortless snap at the bottom through those hands. As you approach impact and there's no ball there, this is just a practice swing. So you're not really focused on trying to hit something. And many times our practice swing is the best technique swing, that we really demonstrate really good fundamentals when we are taking our practice swing. And it is difficult for a lot of players to perform that same fundamentally sound swing when there's a ball present. Nice extension here, both elbows close together. Very nice. As you come through, I want you to pay particular attention to this left arm and your wrist as we come through. Right arm is very straight. Notice that your left hand is underneath the right hand. Your wrists have crossed here. Both elbows are close to each other. You're not flying that left elbow away from your side the way you used to do. Your right knee is moving forward. You're coming off the heel here. You're definitely more weight on your left side than right side. That's excellent. And you have that nice upward finish. Now this is the swing after you had done those practice swings, and I videotaped those practice swings. You stepped up to the ball to execute the same swing at a ball. Same setup, looks good. Pretty good wrist hinge here. Your practice swing was maybe a little bit better, but it's still not too bad. You have drifted back a little bit more. You're a little bit more on your right leg than your left leg. You kind of moved to the right. Didn't stay on your left leg as well as you did with your practice swing, but it's not too bad. Impact looks pretty good here. You've definitely moved to your left side. You can see this knee driving to the left. You're off the heel again. Very good. Elbows look pretty good there. Left arm looks pretty good there. Now you can see when your right arm gets straight, I do not see the wrist crossing. I do see the left arm flying away from the elbow a little bit more. And you're not rehinging the wrist on the follow-through the way you did with your practice swing. Now we're going to compare your practice swing to your ball swing. Here you are in your setup. You do have your weight a little bit more on your left side in your practice swing. In your ball swing, you are a little bit more evenly balanced. You can see how your head is a little bit further away from this red line, which is coming straight off the left leg. And so you do have a little bit more weight on your front foot in your setup for your practice swing. That puts the low point in front of the golf ball. But You do have your hands in front of the ball with your ball swing, so that still also puts the low point front. We just need to make sure that we stay on that left and don't move to the right in the backswing. Okay, here we are at the top of the backswing, and on the left is your practice swing and on the right is your ball swing. You can see how on your ball swing you did move a lot further to your right. These red lines are drawn up right from the ankles of both legs, and you have coiled and rotated but didn't lean to the right. You just kind of rotated to the right, but you stayed centered. You stayed on your left side, and on your ball swing you tended to kind of slide and lean over to the right side, get on top of your right leg, and that moves your low point behind the golf ball and can cause some problems. So not only did you stay on your left side with your practice swing, you coiled and had a much better wrist hinge. You can see how your club is further back. I stopped both of these swings at the point at which the club went back the furthest. Here we are in the sixth position. This is when the club is parallel to the ground on the downswing. And again, your practice swing is executing and demonstrating some really strong fundamentals here. This is an ideal sixth position here on the left. You have the hands almost right in front of your thigh. That is an elite move. Only the top elite players can achieve this sixth position. You've maintained this angle. You're almost in that same position. Your hands are a little bit behind the thigh. I can see on the practice swing, your right elbow is tucked tight into your right side and hip. There's a little bit of daylight between your elbow and hip there. As far as your weight shift, you can see how you've bumped this hip past this green line. You're moving your belt buckle on top of your left foot. You're definitely moving your weight to your left side on your downswing, and you have more weight on your left side even before you hit the ball. So that's a strong position. You're still kind of hanging back here on your ball swing. You can see how this knee is driving more. You can see how your hips have turned a little bit more. You're still kind of sliding a little bit with your hips, not much turn there. So you are capable of making an outstanding, fundamentally sound swing and a strong fundamental move here. But we've just started on training this movement, and it all has fallen into place, a lot of it because of that new wrist hinge. But it's going to take a little bit more practice before you can apply this same swing to the golf ball. When you don't have the ball to focus on, and you just focus on the feelings of a new motion, you execute that motion really well. When you include now the task of hitting the ball, your mind isn't able to execute the same form because you have to focus on hitting the golf ball. And so because this form isn't trained yet, isn't automatic yet, it's going to take a little bit of while before you can transfer this new swing to a golf ball. Here we are at impact, and there's not a big difference in the two. The only difference maybe is in this: you have a little bit more. You're falling back a little bit. You're still kind of back here, and your head is more forward in your practice swing, and you're kind of just tilted and falling back a little bit on the ball swing. The real difference really is in how the wrist. You can see how this on your practice swing, how your wrist crossed, and your left arm is down and closer to your chest. Your elbows are close together here. And on the ball swing, you can see how this left arm has flown. This is when your right arm is parallel to the ground. And you can see how your right hand is in a different position with your practice swing than it is on the ball swing. And you don't have that wrist crossed here. So the next time we meet, we're going to continue practicing this new wrist hinge. We're going to do a lot of of drills where you can execute the practice swing, feel that new movement so that you're having this kind of shape and form to the follow through. And then we're going to do some drills where you can actually do that when there's a ball present, and slowly learn how to execute this fundamental through a ball. Very pleased with your ability to execute this fundamental. Step one is to do it when there is no ball. Step two is to do it when there is a ball. A lot of players take a while to even learn how to do it when there is no ball, but you immediately, with your intuitiveness, your athleticism, you immediately were able to execute this fundamental. This is a primary fundamental for any elite player to have. One final comment, I had introduced the new grip, the overlapping grip, which most pros use. And I liked your first attempt at learning that grip, getting a little bit comfortable with it. You were able to set your hands on there correctly. That's not always easy to do when you make a grip change. But I've also decided that I want to postpone working on that grip at this time. I think it's more important that you get your comfortable grip, the one that you had before we made the grip change, so that you can focus on executing that new wrist hinge swing without the additional distraction of a new grip. So I want you to go back to the grip that you're most comfortable with, and so that you're not having to work on two things. I just want you to work on that new wrist hinge right now until that becomes automatic, and until you can execute a ball swing with that same finish that you had with the practice swing. Once that becomes learned, once you kind of own that new move and you can do it effortlessly without a lot of attention, then down the road we may reintroduce the grip change, but only if it's going to improve your ball flight. If you're having a good ball flight, good performance without a grip change, then we won't make a grip change. There's no reason to make any change in your swing unless it's going to positively affect the performance of the golf ball. So go back to that comfortable grip, and next time we meet, we will continue working on that wrist hinge. That's our focus right now. We don't need to work on anything else except that new swing with that new wrist hinge. That's the key for you right now.